So, Dr. Deb Carlin, I wanted to ask you some of these questions. I work with a lot of people in financial services and financial advisors, and I've worked with people who are either in a family office or they've hired me to support people they're working on, either on the media side or the presenting side. But you have your blueprint and your book, and you've gone a few layers deeper. I was thinking you'd be the perfect person to have on the podcast as some extra fodder here. Let's start with family offices. And I know you show up sometimes helping people in the who are part of the family office with some of the recurring issues and challenges they come up with, and then sometimes they will open you up to the actual family. I guess feel comfortable enough to open you up to the family. Share with me first, what are some of the big challenges a family office goes through,
Well,
deals with?
let me roll it back just for a couple of sentences there. The reason that anybody in a family office would contact me is because they know by my reputation of nearly 50 years that above and beyond anything and everything, I am completely discreet and confidential. No one can understand how essential it is, unless you're in that position, how essential it is that no one will ever know who I've worked with unless they talk about it, or where I've been unless they talk about it, or it's a public event. And so people in family offices are dealing with the reality of the delicate nature of family relationships. There's nothing more sacred in this life than family dynamics. It's everything about who we are. And the brilliant minds that are the financial advisors in the family offices do a phenomenal job at developing their relationships. And they're trained specifically to deal with the financial structure and the science of that and the beauty of that. They're not trained the way I am in family dynamics and the intricacies of that. And they become very uncomfortable when family dynamics get stickier, not sticky, stickier, and they have to figure out, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I know what I can do. I can call Dr. Deb Carlin. No one will know. And if I need to answer
Right.
to the family, I can do it with just letting them know there's an expert that I have come to know and trust implicitly. She will talk to you. And if you look at
And
your
what
other family members, they will never know who she's talking to in the family.
and what are some of the obviously you're not getting, specific on
Yeah,
any group
right.
in particular, but what are some of the asks? Is it that one person from the family wants one thing and somebody's contradicting, or they have to help these people, but they know this person doesn't like this person? They're kind of uh, oil, oil and water or something together. Oh, we got to keep them apart. Are these the types of calls that you get? Give a sense of some of the issues that show up
You know, it's
on
it's
your
very it's
yeah.
very basic stuff. It gets complicated, but it's very basic stuff. All of it boils down to one theme only. Sibling rivalry. Sibling
Interesting.
rivalry. I've been invited into cases where the wife who married into the family has decided to divorce her husband because she would like to get involved with his brother.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Oh, and there's a lot of money involved. There's
right.
prenups. There's
That's right.
hopefully there's obviously the relationship part, because now this person's still in the mix if they are with the other person, and things happening that need to happen, or I guess the family office needs to get approval on certain
That's
things.
right.
And so you've helped either the family office speak with the family and get people to communicate. I was going to say communicate properly, but to communicate in general. And I know, this is a thing I've called you sometimes and you said, I just have a whole interesting thing going on. You don't give me details, but I know you said, um, getting people to come together or to see the other person's point of view or to know what the ultimate end game is. So that I think that's one of your superpowers, as I've seen you in action,
Thank you.
to bring out the best in people so that they can get what they need to get done. And now, so I know sometimes they've said to you, "What would you do if you actually worked with the family?" So what is that like exactly?
Well, it's very delicate. I mean, there's not a single
Yeah,
case that I take on ever that isn't delicate. Doesn't matter what it is or who it is. It's always delicate because people call me when they're in trouble. And when people are in
yeah,
trouble, they're distressed, they're stressed out, they're not thinking as clearly, they're not feeling comfortable. And so when I've been called in to work with the family, I very carefully choreograph with the family office professional. How do you introduce the notion of me so that you're not saying, hey, we got to bring a psychologist, a doctor of psychology into this. We need mental health work. Oh, dear God in heaven,
right,
do not say that. Look, we're in a,
exactly. And so, what do you title yourself or what you're doing?
uh, what I always instruct people to do when they say, how should I
Yeah,
introduce you? It's common. I've been working with this woman who has been in the professional role of being a strategist for most of her life, like 50 years of her life. And she's a doctor of psychology. She's not a therapist. She is a strategist. And what she does,
yes, a family
yeah,
strategist.
look at the dynamics and look at what you say the problems are, and then look underneath that to see what are the solutions, which is tricky, but it always
Yeah,
presents itself.
and yeah, I know what you're doing is not therapy. It may be
Yes.
therapeutic, but it's not therapy. It's strategy
Right.
work. So, as a family strategist, or strategist in general, they can get to an end goal. And I'm sure it is therapeutic because people talk through whatever they're talking through, but they understand that there's an end game where maybe therapy would be just a whole different model.
Right.
Um, am I right
Yeah,
in
we're
how
not
I
going
see
back over
roles?
old stories and let's talk about it again and
Right.
let's talk about it. No, those are
Yeah.
back
This
there.
is
We need to focus
You're helping to guide
here.
them.
Yeah, what's happening here? And I'm going to
Right.
speculate, and you're going to tell me if I'm right or wrong about what I'm perceiving is going on here. And we always get to it
Right.
pretty quickly. I mean, by the time people come to me, they don't want to be wasting a moment. In that first conversation, we better make progress, significant progress. And we do.
Right. Yeah, and that would be a difference there. Of course, it's great for you to have a psychology background because you're understanding how humans think. And if we know how they think and they act and the patterns people repeat, we can get them back together. You have a whole book on that and you have a blueprint for making it happen, but people just need you to help them get there faster. I do want to also ask you about Tiger 21,
Mm.
which is an interesting organization, and they also have some unique pains that you're really the right person to help with. What are some of those pains?
The pain is that that beautiful organization was created by one man who understood from his own personal experience of great wealth that the idea of creating a safe environment for people who have got extremely high net worth was important because when you show up to regular events that are not exclusive to your statue in life, you're self-conscious, and so you wonder, are people talking to me because they know how deep my pockets are? Are they befriending me for that? In Tiger 21, you have to have a certain threshold of net worth, high net worth in the multi-millions before you're invited in. And then you're carefully
Right.
screened. So you know when you walk into that arena that you're safe. Now, what's human nature? Competition. You're meeting with people, you're traveling with people, your hair is down no matter what part of the activity you're engaged in. And there's self-consciousness and self-awareness and competition and ego issues. And so even in those environments, people get tangled up. And when people are starting to get tangled up, it's really the president of that chapter who reaches out to me because I've reached out to and been discovered by a variety of those presidents. And they'll say, "They got something funky going on with a couple of our members and it's got to stop. It's going to spread like wildfire through our group and I don't want anything disrupting anything. What can we do?" Well, you're doing the right thing by talking to me.
Right, right.
You'll give me some more information and I will share with you some strategies if you'd like to try them. And if you'd like to refer me, then you'll do the introduction and we'll talk about how that gets handled. So nobody feels singled out. They feel like, oh, thank you so much, to the rescue. Because I don't want to be out here
Yeah,
floating by myself and I don't want to have to go to a different chapter or drop out and disappear from Tiger 21 altogether.
yeah. And it's such a perfect fit for you. I was trying to think, what would be a good name? The high net worth person whisperer. Too long. I don't know. But the whole whisperer angle is what I was thinking of, they reach out to you. You keep yourself pretty exclusive,
Mhm.
and most of the time I know it's an introduction or it's as somebody you like to know where people came from for them to be able to get a hold of you. And then of course when you're in this organization they're presenting you
Right.
up in front. But again, look, the psychology of people, we all have to be able to figure out the world. We can't be a human chat gpt. We need some help to get the most important people. We don't need to have everything in our brain. We just need the most important pieces to navigate these relationships, to get what we want, to feel like a better person. What are some of the, as we kind of close this section of our chat today out, what do you think people walk away with as after they've done one of your sessions? How do they feel? What are some of the big takeaways?
Oh, I'm so glad that you asked that question. How did you know I was sitting here thinking about that, just kind of going through stories in my head? The most beautiful thing that people walk away with is the feeling of, I'm actually okay. I have insight into how it is I landed there. And I'm saying there because I'm not there anymore. I'm here now. And I've got awareness both in my mind and in my heart and in my gut. And I think I can move forward. As a matter of fact, I know I can. And I've got a resource right in my back pocket that I can reach out to because I make myself incredibly available to everybody that I deal with.
Wonderful. Yep. They need you as the strategist in their back pocket.
Mhm.
And it makes the most sense. And I'm so glad you took a little bit of time out. If you stick around, we might talk about a few other ideas. So